It's the Golden Road, a radio hour. Well, bridging the past with today for a better tomorrow.
Golden Road Radio Hour explores the intersection of arts, environment, culture, health, peace, justice, science, and technology, paving the road for positive social change.
It's the Golden Road, a radio hour. It's the Golden Road, a radio hour.
All right, and welcome. We are the Golden Road Radio Hour, now morphing into a weekly television show. Thanks for tuning in. I'm your host, Michael DiMartino. We have a great show for you here this evening. We're broadcasting live from BCAC TV here in Chico in Butte County, and have a lot of great B-roll, some in-the-field footage. We have a lot of in-studio guests. We have Inspirations Poetry. And of course, as we do every week, we have DJ Power live in the studio. How you doing there?
How you doing out there? Real good, man. How you doing?
Good. What can we expect tonight?
Oh, you know, we got a little this, a little that. I hear some little old stuff.
Nice,
Some old
nice.
ones.
And I'm also joined here live in the studio with a few guests tonight, and we're going to be starting with Rahasya. So welcome.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Great. And you're the publisher of the Lotus Guide.
Publisher of the Lotus Guide, and we've been around for 12 years. It's one of the independent presses around here that supplies media news and information that corporate media normally doesn't cover.
Corporate media doesn't cover that?
Yeah, can you imagine?
I'm quite
Yeah,
surprised.
I knew this would be a new one.
Great.
Yeah, we're pretty happy to be here.
And how long have you been in publication?
12 years now, a little
Wow.
over 12 years.
Well, it's great to have you here on the show, and part of creating the show tonight and the magic that's happening in light of the recent election is people like yourself, you've been doing it for 12 years, but people are starting to realize the importance of community-based media, the importance of collaboration, and also to empower each other with information and knowledge, and inspire each other that we might not get from the corporate media. But before we go on, we're going to start with a little bit of some footage. And we are broadcasting again live here from Butte County Arts and Culture Television in Chico. But we're also simultaneously broadcasting in Nevada County, up in the Tahoe Truckee, Access Television there, and also in Sacramento, where we have our show every week there on Access Sacramento. But we also stream every week live on YouTube. So thanks for joining us. And let's take a little trip now into the high, now snow-capped peaks of the Sierras. And we're going to visit the Donner Museum. For those of you who may or may not be familiar, the Emigrant Trail was the original trail stretching from the east over to California in the middle 1800s, and became very popular, of course, during the gold rush. And of course, the Donner Party was the ones who kind of made the Emigrant Trail famous through their unfortunate expedition, which resulted in the loss of many people and record snow that fell in the Sierras. So we'll be back in just a few more minutes with Rahasya here on the show. We'll be talking to him. Lots of great more music with DJ Power. And let's go now to the Donner Museum, located on beautiful Donner Lake in the Truckee area of the Sierras.
It's the Golden Road, a radio hour. It's the Golden Road, a radio hour. Well, bridging the past with today for a better tomorrow.
Golden Road Radio Hour explores the intersection of arts, environment, culture, health, peace, justice, science, and technology, paving the road for positive social change.
It's the Golden Road, a radio hour. It's the Golden Road, a radio hour.
want to tell you a story. Over 150 years ago, some of the first settlers came here to Northern California and settled in the beautiful Sierra Mountains. They were all in search of the promise of a better life by finding some gold.
Well, I'm Dave Comstock, and I came to this area a long time ago, but was still a newcomer. And when I got here, I was had very little interest in history. And in about 3 months, I was overwhelmed by the history because you just could not escape it. Like the people who came here from the East Coast 200 years ago, and 150 years ago, and 100 years ago, I was surprised to discover how many people had been here a long time before we got here, because they were essentially invisible by the time I got here. And they were not invisible when the gold hunters came here. They were just sort of in the way. And the gold hunters were a little bit annoyed by them because they were in the same place. They were all in the same place together. They all wanted to get in the same stream, but for different purposes.
right, keeping it bumping. Thank you, DJ Power. How you feeling tonight? You see that moon
Feeling
coming
real
up?
good, man. Feeling real good. Had a lot of gigs lately. Getting ready for the DJ classes, December 3rd. Starting off, and at the Connected Communities Green Screen. Just getting ready for that, man. So register for these classes, Grass Valley, Nevada City, 6 weeks. It's gonna be a beautiful thing. And State of Healing weekend. Dove Moses, my manager, doing the State of Healing thing. Just came back from the Dakota stuff. We're gonna talk about that another time. That was heavy. A lot moving on, man.
All right.
Best show on the air, man.
Well, we're working on it.
So
So
life is
thanks
beautiful,
for
man.
being here and laying down the grooves every week.
Life is good, man.
And if you're just tuning in, you're watching Golden Road Television. I'm your host, Michael DiMartino. We are broadcasting live from Chico downtown tonight with Butte County Arts and Culture Television. We're also broadcasting on YouTube and now into several surrounding counties, including Nevada County, Truckee, Tahoe, and all the way into Sacramento. And if you have a minute right now, look out your window at the moon, because right now we're getting a very special show. Not only this show, which launched in August, but you're getting a show from the super moon, which hasn't appeared like this in really the last 30 or 40 years, and we probably won't see another one, maybe even in our lifetime. So check out the super moon, but welcome to the show. We have a great one for you tonight. And I'd like to start off with our in-studio guest. And I had the pleasure of meeting this gentleman a few months back. Of course, I've been reading his publication for years, but I had the honor to get to meet him recently and find out more about the Lotus Guide. And it looks like in light, not necessarily premeditated, but of the current election and presidential situation that we're pooling our energy and resources and efforts together to really give you, the community, a microphone, to give you a camera, and to showcase a lot of the great talent, both musically and artistic, that's in this area of the Sierra foothills and Gold Country, but also to focus a lot on helping to educate and empower you with information around health, the environment, peace and justice, and we'd like to do a little bit of TED Talk style, some science and technology. So again, welcome to the show, and welcome, Rahasya.
Thank you, Michael.
Good.
Glad to
Great
be
to
here.
have you here.
Absolutely.
You had a busy day today. I know you were.
We were at the Psychic Health Fair today, and every year that gets more and more dynamic. I've noticed this year, more than any other year, more and more people are looking for alternative ways to look at life, their health, and they're looking for alternative news too, because the news that we get most of the time is from the corporate media, and I'm afraid that's not exactly fair and balanced, if you ask me. So that's what the Lotus Guide is about, KZFR, KVMR. A lot of this is just about getting people to look at some information that can really help them make better decisions.
Great. I know it's something we can all benefit from.
Yep.
So the psychic fair went well.
Psychic Fair went very well, actually.
I actually went over there and I had my aura read.
Yeah?
Yeah, they said I have a lot of purple and some golds, a little bit of orange down here, and a big conduit to the divine over my head. So I felt pretty positive about that.
Well, that doesn't surprise me, Michael.
So, of course, there are, and really what inspired me to do this show, there's so many great foundation stones in this area, in these communities. I felt really inspired when I moved from Santa Cruz to come up here and basically leave my job at UCSC, Santa Cruz, to help spearhead this show, which could bring all of this great information, very much like Lotus Guide, to light and present in the way that was multimedia, multi-platform, and also entertaining. So we call it edutainment. And but let's talk a little bit about Lotus Guide. You've been doing it for 12 years.
12 years now, and it's taken on a life of its own at this point. I'm almost at the point now where I'm just guiding it, because it's out there with a lot of force of its own, momentum. And like I say, this started 12 years ago with an idea, because when we first moved to Chico, there wasn't too much here. The Chico News and Review is a really good newspaper, but there wasn't too much for the alternative health community. And my wife and I, we would go to meditations, and everyone would say, "Hey, did you miss that meditation last night?" Yeah, because the only thing we had here was 2 bulletin boards. And the 2 bulletin boards was where the alternative community basically got their news. So we thought, okay, we had enough money for 1 issue. And we went around this town and we sold ads for a magazine that actually didn't exist at the time. And we had so much people backing us up. It was a good idea, and it was at a good time to do it. And it's just taken off like crazy.
Great. I love reading it myself because, we live in an age of limited attention spans. And if you're still watching, we appreciate it. So thank you. Stay tuned. There's lots of great stuff, not just talking heads for you this evening. But what I like is you have some great articles. They're very, and not too lengthy. They're really short and concise and to the point on essential oils, on yoga, on alternative healing, on diet, on addiction, on stress therapy. Over the years, what are some of the stories that really remain with you?
Oh my.
I mean, this one is amazing about the impact. Well, let's get back to that, about the impact of keeping it pertinent, about the gorillas. What's happening with gorillas and cell phones?
Well, there's a mineral called coltan, and coltan is mined, right now it's being mined by the rebel groups, and they use all of the money to buy arms and ammunition. But the biggest thing, not only that, but they go out and the way they mine coltan, they're devastating the environment for the gorillas. And since they only pay their helpers $10 a month, they get hungry. So when they see a gorilla, they shoot it for the meat. Wow. So, and there's ways to do this. There's ways to get coltan that is totally environmentally safe. But one of the things we mentioned in here that would really help is if people would use their cell phones and use them for 3, 4, 5 years, and don't keep buying new ones. The average cell phone use is 14 months, and people tend to just pitch them away. So we have a place here in Chico where you can turn your cell phone in, and you can buy gorilla-free cell phones now. And it's cell phones that it's actually made with coltan that is mined properly. And this also takes the money away from the rebel groups.
Wow, fantastic.
And it's just a matter of putting light on this stuff.
You don't hear that in the mainstream media, do you?
No, you don't. Yeah.
No, great. And of course, I was over at the psychic fair a little earlier and saw your wife, Daria, there. And you guys are doing so much for the community. And there's lots more I know we can talk about, and we will. But let's keep it moving. We're going to go over now to a show that was produced here in Chico, actually last night at the Women's Center. And we're going to watch a little bit of footage from the David Nelson Band. But before we do that, what do you think? We got something on the tables?
Oh, yeah, always, man.
Yeah, let's go back to DJ Power and give him a little some. And then after that, we'll have some footage from the David Nelson concert last night at the Chico Women's Center.
Good subjects today. Good news, good information. I like your magazine. What we talking about today, ladies and gentlemen, is like certainly not the news. Who is that? CNN? I'm an American Bulletin guy myself. Enjoy.
It's about that time to go back in the days. It's about that time to go back in the days.
Yeah, and if you're at home, feel free to dance. You know, like when you're about to go out and nobody's around, you dancing in front of the mirror and stuff, you know. You want your kids to laugh at you and you know, doing your own groove, stuff like that.
Back in the days, everything rearranged when we take it to the stage. Next phase, we open up your mind, go crazy, filling in the blanks. Next page, rushing with bass and percussion, computerized. O's and ones having fun when we synergize. Electric, right about now. Everybody harmonize. Here we go again.
downtown Chico, and the David Nelson Band is rocking and on stage. Enjoy. I'm Ricky Anderson from KZFR. Thanks so much for supporting community radio. We love you.
Hi, I'm Rahasia from the Lotus Guide, and I'm here at the David Nelson concert without David Nelson because he's recovering. And that sort of is symbolic of life because we're all here recovering. So, it's a really great show.
Sunsets ablaze Hello and good evening. My name's Kenya Dance, and I'm here to provide for you some inspiration through this evening and forever, for that matter. Tonight, as we honor the full moon, as she blesses us with her divinity upon this beautiful earth, I'd like to honor the earth herself. And with that, I'm going to open with a little bit of poetry from Rumi. It's, do you know what the music is saying? Come, follow me. You will find the way. Your mistakes can also lead you to the truth. When you ask, the answer will be given. And that's really inspiring, because when we ask, the answer will be given. And I'd also like to honor a goddess this evening, international. We're going international here. Not just national, not just local, which it is, all and the above. I like to think of myself as a global being. And so tonight we're going to honor Feronia. She's a Roman goddess, and she is a fire goddess. And so you can take a little piece of coal, an incense, or a candle, and if you feel so inclined, and give her a little thought. She's honored in Rome today, especially for physical events, for games and competition. And so maybe this evening you might want to do a little stretching, run around the block, and that will invite in her vital energies that will hopefully inspire you and take you to the next level where you feel fantastic. Yes, and I have more to come. Please join me later. Thank you.
And we're back. Thank you so much, Kenya, for your words of the week and your wisdom.
Thank you.
So thanks for tuning in tonight, and we want to wish all of you a amazing full moon. And we're here live in the studio with Rahasya from the Lotus Guide, which has been a publication that's been in existence for 12 years. And as we all know, we're kind of having this big convergence here with the Golden Road Radio, which has now morphed into a weekly television show. We actually broadcast every Sunday live from 6 to 8 p.m. through multiple counties. You can check out the website at goldenroadradiohour.com, but we're also now a television show reaching into several of the counties around Gold Country and the Sierras. So we're here live in the studio with Rahasya and Lotus Guide, non-corporate media. It's been a great idea for a long time, but extremely pertinent now with the election and
Extremely important.
yeah.
Even though it's called for healthy living, we're actually being drawn into this other area that we've labeled Rahasya Uncensored. And Rahasya Uncensored actually is a response to the community, because the community has been asking me. We broke the news like with chemtrails, with vaccinations, with EMF waves, and a lot of different things. We were probably a little bit early because we got a little bit of flack, but we started getting so much response off of these kinds of articles. It made us realize that we need to branch out and hit some of these fringe areas. And we've even touched on UFOs and the secret space program. But the biggest thing is some of the whistleblowers. Whistleblowers are starting to speak out now. And if we don't support whistleblowers the way we should, it could be a problem. These people are giving up their lives, their careers, everything to tell us what's going on. And a good example is with cigarettes. I mean, if some of those early people didn't speak out, the chemists, and tell us what is really going on, we wouldn't have done any of this. And as we know, these people will testify in front of Congress, they will lie. So it's really good to have a medium where I can really speak. And when I say uncensored, I mean it is uncensored. So, you know, like this one is about CERN. Should we be concerned? This is when they opened up the Hadron Collider, and when I first wrote this, people didn't really realize what was going on, but they're opening up a portal, an interdimensional portal. And they're expecting things to come through back and forth from other dimensions. And I think we should pay attention to this.
And not only that, I mean, there's been a lot of research about their idea of like working with really the fabric of reality, what we know as dark matter, and trying to understand this this cohesive force that kind of binds everything together. And by things like CERN and also other things that they're using with like HARP, located up in Alaska, that they're really trying to test the real fabric of reality and seeing what they can do and what the limitations of what science can do. But a lot of it is just really dangerous and not good science at all. But it really
we need
is a
to keep
threat.
this needs to be transparent. Like at CERN, they have something called the living room. After all of the other researchers go home, they do their private research. And this is what's going on that we really need to pay attention to, because these experiments are actually ripping tiny fragments of our dimension, and we're crossing over into other dimensions. And most scientists today will readily agree, if they had to put their money on what is reality, most of them would say that this is a conscious projection of light, a holographic projection. And these people are messing with it. And I think as we go on and check out some of these other things, we're going to start seeing that we need to pay attention, because if we don't, these people are known to make mistakes. They're known to get out there, and they have billions and billions of dollars, and these experiments are really crucial. They're really important, so we can find out what is reality, what is happening here. If we don't stretch ourselves and really check this out.
And not even around, you know, science around such things like quantum mechanics and such, even the simple science of things that are happening right now with the petroleum industry or the pharmaceutical industry, and really the huge detrimental effect that it's had on people all over the world, things like you said, vaccinations and chemtrails. So one of the good things I feel, without being overly political, is that with the recent presidential election, this is really a wake-up call of how polarized this country really is. And you know, we had the Occupy movement between the one percenters, the have and the have-nots, and the people that are kind of at the top of the toxic mix of capitalism and democracy, where the strongest and the most driven and sometimes the most corrupt people tend to rise to the top of the food chain. So I know a lot of these things just really have come to light, things like movies like What the Bleep, movies like Thrive, and other things like that. But I really think we're going to see an acceleration of people really starting to wake up and realize that it's that humanity is at a crossroads. And I know this has been a big passion of mine. I worked on a film project years ago for 2012 called Converge, and it was based on an event we did in Mexico called Synthesis, where we brought together different religious leaders and spiritual leaders and environmental educators and artists from all over the world to try to explore and express what 2012 actually meant to all of us, and to try to paint an actual picture of what this new paradigm could potentially look like. So it's a real wake-up call, and that's another reason why, you know, we have this deep commitment to doing this show. So if you're just tuning in, you're watching Golden Road Television. We're broadcasting live here, doing the full moon, super moon. And we have lots more show to come over. And I think we're going to have a little bit of a PSA right now. And then we're going to, let's jump over into some local arts here in just a minute. And I just want to thank all the team here helping to make this possible. And we'll be back in just a few minutes with lots more show, more in-studio guests. We have Skylar from the Fab Lab. And we got some other great footage with Meg Amor and Roxy. We have the Parade of Lights, which happened a few weeks ago, and lots more. So stay tuned as we go over now to Meg Amor and Roxy.
Yeah. What you dream and what you make, what you love, what you create, it's a gift to this world. So go and spread the word. You are love. Won't you dance? Whoa, 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 whoa. One life, one love, one dream, one team, all in the same, under one name in which we came. Won't you dance? Doesn't matter where you came from. It doesn't matter who you love. All life is equal. You ain't no one above. Perfect. You are perfect. Perfect. You are the gift of love. Whoa, whoa, whoa. One life, one love, one dream, one team, all in the same, under one name in which we came. One life, one love, one dream, one team, one dream, all in the same, under one name in which we came. Love.
Television. I'm your host, Michael DiMartino. We're here in the studio live at Rahasia, and with DJ Power, Kenya Dance with Inspirations, lots more. We have Skylar coming up from Fab Lab. But again, thanks for being on the show.
Absolutely. It's
And-
my pleasure.
And it feels relative that we're here during this whole time, right? Fallout from the election, of course, the supermoon. And what we're hoping is that at least maybe once a month or so, you could come on and do Rahasia Uncensored. I know you're
Yeah, I'd love to.
a wealth of information, and we would love to be in collaboration with Lotus Guide and obviously help support and really to help identify and bring some of these resources in the community out so that people have the opportunity to be made aware. And that's really a big part of the Golden Road, is that we're kind of helping to, open the way or look at other optional pathways and roads to enjoy a better quality of life. That can be through our own personal health. It could be being aware of things that are happening around peace and justice. Later in the show, we have a great clip coming from Standing Rock, and we'll have a little report on that. But just to get content, again, that we don't see on corporate media. So before we go, any words of more wisdom you would like to leave us with?
Well, I think we're living in times right now, we're living in a transitional time between one system that was basically dysfunctional, but it worked. And we're trying to morph into another system. And whenever you do that, there's chaos in the middle. And I think it's going to be really important for people to come together and see that within that chaos, there is a sacred emerging pattern of consciousness. And the more attention we can put on that, like this show, for instance, this is consciousness coming through, and there's a pattern within this that if we follow it, nurture it, and bring it on, we're going to find ourselves, I believe, in an amazing world. a world full of wonder and things that we can't even imagine right now. But it's so easy to get caught up in the chaos. And I think shows like this really, really help.
Great, thanks. Well, it helps in all the work that we're doing. And again, I think the new paradigm is putting the whole idea of competition behind us and working more towards community and collaboration. So again, thanks for being on the show. We really
Absolutely.
appreciate your time. I know you're a busy guy. And hopefully we'll have you back again really soon, as often as you want to be here with Rahasya Uncensored. So,
Sounds good, man.
But you know, you can't, certain words we can't say. We know that too.
Yeah, we
So,
know those words.
Okay, so we're only minutely censored, but keeping compliant with FCC so we can keep broadcasting.
Well, you heard what happened to Art Bell's. Careful.
Yeah, and that's another great show, of course, Coast to Coast.
That's why I love Art Bell. You know, we're going to start getting followed by the government soon if we keep it. It's nice.
All right. Well, why don't you give us some music? Go over to
Yeah,
the
it's
universal
nice.
language here, and we'll have a little something from DJ Powell, and we'll be back with much more.
So, we're good now?
We're up talking to Skylar seated up here.
Oh, there he is. Okay. You ever use a wireless?
Yeah. Okay. I think.
If you were falling, then I would catch you. You need a light. I'd find a match, 'cause I love the way you call me baby, and you take me the way I am. I'll buy you again when you start losing all your hair. So on patches to all you tear, 'cause I love the way you say good morning, and you take me the way I am. If you get chilly, here, take my sweater. Your head is aching, I'll make it better, 'cause I love the way you call me baby, and you take me the way I am. Yeah, you take me the way I am. TV is making me nervous.
Boomy. Some local talented ladies playing some wonderful music here. And I want to thank Skylar for, well, not only holding it together tonight technically in the booth, but also to shoot that footage. And also I want to thank Coulter and who's helping to bring you this broadcast in the tech booth, and also Carl Chalette, who's here all the way from Nevada City and KVMR, helping with the audio. But we have another Skylar. It's hard to keep all this straight sometimes, I'm telling you. But we have another Skylar here in the studio, and we met recently at the Fab Lab. And welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
What are you up to these days?
I've just been living in the mountains and writing music.
Great.
Making art.
And how'd your art show go?
Pretty well, yeah. Sold some art.
Fantastic.
Had a lot of positive feedback from a lot of people. So I was really glad for the opportunity.
Great.
Yeah.
So how would you, I know we talked a little bit, and we're going to show a clip here in a second from Fab Lab, but how would you describe your art or your creative process, like to bring you to actually making a piece?
Yeah, I guess it's just trying to break into the unknown and like give people a chance to see things that I've seen and things that like are hard to share through any other type of media besides visually. So yeah.
Great.
I was using the laser cutter a lot and Photoshop and mixing that with painting and going in and out of the digital realm into the, you know, like wet liquid stuff, colorful things.
Right.
Yeah.
Kept you busy.
Yeah.
And you had a great turnout, I think, for the opening, right?
Yeah, there was like, I don't even know how many people, but there was a lot
Hundreds.
of people. Yeah, hundreds.
Right. And you had music?
Yeah, there was some good music, some fun, good times.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So for, and again, we're going to show the clip in a minute. For people who aren't familiar in Fab Lab, since we are broadcasting through multiple counties and on YouTube, give us a little synopsis of what people could expect if you walked into the door of Fab Lab.
Yeah, so it's like a membership-driven maker space, basically. You can go there and become a member and use the facilities to create whatever vision you have and collaborate with other people that are there.
Right. It seems, collaborate seems to be a very resonant theme these days.
Yeah, I think with the internet and the ease of like communication, collaborating is like a lot easier to do, almost like with all these different apps and things of like sharing what you're doing. You can easily like see what another artist is doing, and maybe it'll kind of change your direction a little bit.
I get some input or learn some techniques and stuff. Great. Well, we appreciate you being here. So let's go now. We're going to take the cameras out into the field, right down the street here, actually, in Chico, to Fab Lab, where we had the honor of being able to go there with the cameras, get some work, and also to do a more lengthy interview with Skylar. So we'll be back in just a minute after In the Field with the Fab Lab.
Great. Hi, I'm Skylar Willis. I've been a member here at the Idea Fab Labs in Chico for about three years, I think. And the Fab Labs are a member-driven and volunteer-driven, community-based organization where you can come in and there's a bunch of different tools to pretty much build whatever you want. Anything you can think of or any idea you have, you can come in and not only make those things come true by yourself, but collaborate with everyone else here and see, you know, your ideas really change into a phoenix of like this creation of something that was collaborated instead of just something that you thought of yourself. And I find myself doing that constantly here. Everyone has ideas, and it's just beautiful to see people come together and bounce them off of each other, and then to see the fruit of that talk actually manifest itself into reality. And there's a bunch of different tools here. There's a laser cutter, there's a CNC router, 3D printers, various computers, wood shop. We're working on a metal shop. There's a jewelry zone, textiles, leatherworking, and a big giant room with a LED ceiling for having events, and a gallery with a bunch of art. About every 2 months we have an artist come in and create a series of work up to about 30 pieces or more. This is the zombie apocalypse room. It's basically just some workspace, workbenches, and some tools, basic tools, drills, and other things. There's some screen printing equipment in the back there. And so this is the wood shop. Pretty much all woodworking tools that you would need are in here. And then we have the CNC router, which is a 4x8 foot CNC machine, and you can cut out vector files or different files out of large pieces of wood. And there's some really awesome things you can build with that. We've done some structures and different things for stages and just giant art sculptures that Aaron Banwell designs, these like puzzles, these big puzzles. So we cut out huge pieces and then go and build them places. It's pretty fun. This is the audio zone, and then there's production software. We use Ableton here and Logic. Some MIDI controllers and some various microphones and some mixing equipment. This is the jewelry and textile zone. We have an embroidery machine. We have a bunch of different jewelry making equipment. And leather cutting equipment. And then we have a commercial and industrial sewing machine. This is our hacker space over here. We've held Northern California hacking convention here, similar to DEF CON, but smaller, obviously. We have the electronic zone here with a bunch of different electronic testing equipment and soldering equipment. Anything you need for circuitry. So I've had the opportunity to do the incubator program here, and it's a 2-month process of creating a bunch of art. So the way that I implement the Fab Labs into my art, for example with this piece, is it's a laser etched digital composition using Photoshop and other software. And I laser etch it onto wood, and then I paint over it, and then I actually CNC'd a frame with a CNC router, and Sometimes I even go and put the thing back in the laser after I paint it and laser over it again just to get like more layers of depth. And so this is a Gothic cathedral spaceship, which I always thought that cathedrals kind of seemed like spaceships, and never have had the patience, I guess, for doing that amount of detail. So there's like a laser cutter here that allows you to get like this incredible detail with like inhuman detail, and then add a human element to it. Well, let's, I mean, a lot of my inspiration, I don't want to say it on camera. It's like psychedelic. Okay, yeah. Now that you saw some of my art, I was hoping to show you a little song, and hopefully it'll stick with you. The song is like kind of about hard times. It's a little like, you know, can't sing the blues if you haven't lived them, kind of thing, and beauty comes out of that. And this is called Stair Stuck. I can't find my knife, no, can't find my knife. Well, the moon is low and heavy, it's pulling at my heart. It's time to go away now. Well, listen for the dark, yeah, listen for the dark. Well, my thoughts are fading out now. The spirit of the hour, well, death to the old man as I lay down, yeah, as I lay down. Well, I came up but not for air. Now a little game called truth or dare. My mama said, boy, you best beware now, lest your eyes stick in that stairwell, lest your eyes stick in that stair. Conjured up a powwow, there's some faces in the clouds now. Climb to the top of the old oak tree to hear what they're saying to me. Oh boy, I can hear what they're saying to me. And then I gave my pearls unto the swine, and I said goodbye for the very last time. Well, life's a joke, and why is it not funny? Well, if I have legs, why I'm not running now? If I have legs, and why I'm not running now? Sits up in his rocking chair, he's got his finger on the trigger, well he keeps it right there. Mind on the scriptures, but he ain't scared. There's a lot of wisdom in that old gray hair now. A lot of wisdom in that old gray hair now. Well, I have drank from the fountain of youth, yes I have sipped from a lemonade booth, and I asked for a little mystery, and God gave me humility. I came up but not for air. Now a little game
called truth or dare. My mama said, boy, you best beware now, lest your eyes stick in that stairwell, lest your eyes stick in that stair. There's some whiskey in the water, and there's some poison in the well. Oh, well, well, karma's a mean girl.
All right. Nice job. Thank you.
Nice.
All right. That was Skylar Willis live here on Golden Road Television. And thanks for coming in and sharing some of your music and also some of the art from the Fab Lab. If you're just tuning in, you're watching live Golden Road TV show. And we're broadcasting live every Sunday from 6 to 8 p.m., not only on Community Access in here El Dorado County, but also in Nevada County, in Sacramento, and all the way up to Truckee and Tahoe. So we want you to come and own it. We want your voice to be heard, and we want you to bring your message, your music, your art, your knowledge to the world with a regional focus here in Gold Country. So I'm your host, Michael DiMartino, and thanks for tuning in. And we have a big show for you tonight, lots of stuff happening in light of the recent political situation and also in honor of the incredible supermoon that's rising. She's an amazing grandmother. So in honor of Divine Feminine, we also have another in-studio guest here. Usually she's here every week sharing inspirations. So welcome to the show once again. You've been very consistent. Kenya Dance.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Great.
Yes, beautiful evening, beautiful time. Love being here. Thank you very much. DJ Power. All right.
Come
Skylar.
be jamming with me, you know.
Yeah,
That's
DJ.
Right. Live the show. I say you feel it move, you know.
That's right. That's right. Don't hold back.
That's what it's about.
And it's been great because you've been here really every week. We've been broadcasting, bringing inspirations through words of, Rumi and many others. I know we're not going to do it now, but you prepared another piece for tonight.
Yes,
Do you wanna
I did.
Tell us.
Gary Snyder. I chose to feature Gary Snyder, The Children. It's a beautiful poem. He's a local artist on San Juan, I think, Nevada City. And so I'm going to be honored and honor him in a poem for the children, really.
Great. And for those of you who might not know, Gary Snyder is, of course, one of the original beat poets who was very deeply involved in Buddhism and just a world-renowned, prize-winning poet and writer. So keeping it local here in Chico, we're going to go now to the Festival of Lights Parade, which happened just a few weeks ago. And one of the things we like to do with the show here, we know we live in an age with so many options, so we really do appreciate you tuning into the show. We like to keep things moving because, you know, it can be very challenging if you watch anything that's really too long-winded or if it's something that isn't pertinent to you. So we're trying to bring the voice of the community to you live every Sunday. We're trying to showcase a lot of the individuals and organizations that are in the communities around Chico and Nevada City, Tahoe, Truckee, Sacramento, Auburn, Colfax, and all places in between. So by doing that, we're going to share a little bit of footage. It's not happening now live. It happened a few weeks ago, but nonetheless, it was one of the quintessential events here in Chico with the Festival of Lights Parade. So it was a long parade, but we're just going to show a little bit of snippet with some music, and we'll be back with more poetry and music and lots more here on Golden Road TV.
And they turned into beautiful horses. Four horses turned. And
back. A little bit of some footage there from the Parade of Lights. We're doing a heavy focus on Chico tonight for the Golden Road show here because we're broadcasting live from Butte County Arts and Culture Television. And you're watching live here on community television, but we're also broadcasting around the world on our YouTube channel at Golden Road Radio Hour. So just a quick history, Golden Road Radio Hour started in August when we did 3 broadcasts from the historic Nevada Theater in downtown Nevada City. The Nevada Theater is a 160-year-old theater, the oldest continuously functioning theater west of the Mississippi. But we did 3 3-hour shows there at the theater, kind of prairie home companion style. And not only did we do that, but we also broadcast those shows on KVMR. And the final show, which featured Ma Muse, the Rayos, the World Beatniks, and many others, actually was live streamed. So we realized that live streaming was a great way not only to bring conscious content to all of you and to focus on the region as far as content and contributions, but also we live in a visual culture, and it's a great way to show people a lot of things that you can't always express or communicate via the radio. So here we are a few months later. We are now again Golden Road TV every single Sunday, 6 to 8 p.m. live with rebroadcast available on the YouTube channel. We want to thank also the radio stations that are in support of the show. We were last night at David Nelson, so we want to thank KZFR, also KUBU 96.5 in Sacramento, and of course my home broadcaster station in Nevada City, KVMR. So welcome to the show. It's a super moon out there tonight, and we're live and on the air. And next thing we're going to do is we have the honor of having our co-hostess. She's been on the show pretty consistently, and she likes to come and contribute what we call inspirations, which are basically words of the week, offering some uplifting and insightful words and poetry. So what do we have in store tonight, Kenya Dance?
Well, I'm going to go ahead and do some Gary Snyder. But before that, I'd like to just say, wow, right? Chico, how beautiful. In honor, everything, this poem that I'm going to read is to the children. I got to go to the Parade of Lights, and it was amazing. And what I saw there was a bunch of beautiful children. And this poem is about children. And it's not only to the little children, but to the big children, or the little people that are really going to be the adults of this world. And I honor you all. And it goes like this. It's for the children. The rising hills, the slopes, or statistics lie before us. The steep climb of everything going up as we go down. In the next century, or the one beyond that, they say are valleys and pastures. We can meet there in peace if we make it. To climb these coming crests, one word to you and your children. Stay together, learn the flowers, and go lightly. That's by Gary Snyder. Thank him, he's a wonderful poet. I hope that you go and find more of his poetry. And I hope that inspires you, young, old, and in between.
Right, thank you. I'm just
Yeah,
taking a silent moment to take all that in. Yeah. So again, it takes a lot of time and effort to be able to bring you this show live. There's a great amount of research and pre-production that goes into it. But I also want to thank really all the people that have helped collaborate to get the show to this place. And when we started the show back in August, one of the ideas is we wanted a regionally focused show around a lot of what we call the gold nuggets of gold country. So we're going to be focusing a lot on the visual and performing arts in the area. We're also bringing in different people to speak about health, different options that we can utilize in our own life as far as enjoying a better quality of life. We also have weekly, usually a peace and justice report, which kind of keeps you informed of the different things that are happening that, again, you don't hear in necessarily the corporate media. And we also have a segment called the science and technology, where we like to look at the things that are happening with digital media, things like anything from virtual reality to advances that are happening with technology all around the world. So we're kind of a mutant child that if Prairie Home Companion and poetry and storytelling and theater combined with TED Talks, which is science and technology, with a little touch of E-Town, where we focus on regional music and arts in the community, you come up with the Golden Road. And we're very dedicated. Our motto actually is bridging the past with today for a better tomorrow. All right, you did it. You practiced.
Absolutely, I love it.
Kudos, kudos.
Thank you.
Someone's getting some chocolate tonight.
Oh boy.
But we have a really powerful piece that was actually submitted from Skylar. Skylar's one of he's the man here at BCAC TV, Butte County Arts and Culture Television. And we're going to show a piece in just a few minutes from Standing Rock. But let's invite DJ Power in the mix. You said your manager just came back from Standing Rock.
Dove Moses, who y'all know, me and Hip Hop Medicine. That's our thing. He was just at Standing Rock for about a week or so. We had to take off. We had a few shows coming back, so he couldn't stay long. But he did a lot of donating. Donated a stove, all kind of stuff that was needed. They need a lot of stuff out there, so he went to answer the call. And it was really effective, and it's good because right now, what we do every year is we're into Theta Healing. So he has the Theta Weekend going on. And I can imagine how well it's going. I had to do some work, I couldn't be there, but I'm sure it's going well because after the situations that have been transpiring there where he just left, it puts you in, I'm sure, a deep mood, A lot of suffering, a lot of people going through it. A few soldiers, and nothing against the military. I was in the military, so I'll say this to the soldiers out there that are at Standing Rock, one brother to another. We're not trained to really police our own people in our own country. Please be nice.
All right.
We're trained for war, not trained for policing. That is the sheriffs and all that. So if you are out there, because you have to follow orders, please remember, these are your people. This is your home. Do not, just be easy out there. You got a job to do, man, but just be easy because a lot of things are going on. And the military doesn't need a bad name. Police department doesn't need a bad name because it's not everyone involved in that are in the military or the police. Each of those forces get a lot of bad names sometimes because of a few people that, take things too far. So just know that those people are just trying to fight for their land, man. That's all. Not fight you.
Right.
Non-violent, man.
Yeah, and a lot of it is just great words. A lot of it is just the same story that I've actually worked for a long time with Rolling Thunder. He was a Cherokee medicine man, and he was involved very deeply with the
we did a
Shoshone.
show with him.
Yeah, he's a great guy. He was very integral. Actually, going all the way back to the '60s. He helped mediate a lot of things between the hippies in Haight-Ashbury and the Black Panthers and a lot of the other parties that were all trying to, make breakthroughs in human rights and civil rights and working for peace and justice. And, the whole 60s was really, and we had a guest on the show just a few weeks ago, Richard Johnson, who spoke about how we're going from this Piscean age into this Aquarian age. So it's all part of this great awakening. So sometimes, we have to see our shadows before we can really embrace the light. So there's, a huge awakening that's happened. It started in the 60s and we're continuing in it.
The veil is being removed, man.
The veil's being removed.
It's all about distractions, man. Your job, your this, your material thing, your commercials, they feed you, they hit you, the internet, it's distract sports, stuff like that. Sure, sports are fun. I play them. I watch, not too much, but you gotta don't be so distracted. There are people that know the stats of everything that Michael Jordan did, how many records Beyonce sold. They know all this perfectly. Ask them about thalamus. Ask them about a human body part.
Right.
Ask them about the respiratory system.
Are you trying to imply that somehow a lot of humanity's lost the ability to have common sense and are distracted by corporate media?
Very distracted by the corporate media.
So why don't we do this? Why don't you
So-
let's lay something down. Let's give the people some music, and we're going to be back.
Let's do something for better times. Let's do a little remix here. Let's get into this. It's Dr. Packer remix. Now, party people in the place to be out there in Chico. Right now, we want you to absorb in the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that's going on in the show. But also, take a little breather. You know, dance a little bit. Reflect. Some of the songs you hear, old, new. Reflect. Have some fun. Because you will have fun with the Golden Road Radio Hour. That's what we do. Knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and fun. You know, Chico, we're loving you. Thank you for having us. And we're definitely back here. Enough talk. Get into the mix. DJ Power. Right, and if you're at home, turn it up. Grandmaster Caz, the writer of these lyrics. Rest in peace to Big Bang.
Are you keeping your eyes closed or open? I feel weird sometimes.
Don't look at the camera. That's
Yeah, I know. Okay, it keeps freaking me out. Don't look at the camera. Great.
I was just looking down and close my eyes. I usually close my eyes.
Great.
Your eyes shine out, yeah, like
Shaboomy. The music speaks for itself. And we got him out of his DJ booth and down here on the stage. So welcome. Good to see you, brother.
What's up, Mike D?
You know, just keeping it real, and appreciate your musical and universal language contributions to this show.
Yeah, man, it's a great opportunity to express truth, you know, like what's really going on, what really people are feeling out there and building on. Because there's a lot of things going on out there culturally, especially in this area. There's always some kind of event. It's always some type of event. And educational. You can go to yoga, you can go anything, martial art. You got a lot of good people in this concentrated area. So for this area to have a show like this is important, because other than that, how's it going to get expressed? You know, how's it going to, well, with the guy with the magazine is nice. That magazine, I just picked it up today. I noticed they got a little advertisement on the cover. Yeah. Yeah, that's nice. I see the show on that. All right, that's, yeah.
Working in collaboration.
And, you know, you need that type of thing. I'm out of New York City. We have places where we can gather. We know in New York, like you can go down Soho, you know where to go to get some type of cultural type of, there's always advertised for you out there. Here, it's not as advertised as much as far as that. It's word of mouth. So now that we got the TV show now, man, like all the artists, and we're open, the Club Haven, who I work with, and the staff there, Justin, Rob, and New, they're opening their space as a cultural space to where we want artists to come there and actually do art. It's not just a club anymore. We're getting the 501, we're getting, you know, right. So it's gonna be a theater space. Yeah, it's a club, we'll throw a few chairs for you, but you do poetry there, art, just all types of things, you know.
We'll have to come down there, I think, probably in the next few weeks, and maybe we'll do a broadcast live.
Yeah, we're going to broadcast live out of there.
Nice.
Justin's ready, the staff there. I knew the manager, you know, that's the big lady over there. She said, yeah, man, just, you know, they're psyched about it. And they're very supportive of the DJ school, you know, events like that. You know, they're supportive of the radio station, the TV show and all that. So they open their doors to us to really promote. And I'm doing a 5-hour mix nonstop at Club Haven coming up to launch the DJ classes December 3rd.
Nice.
At the Connected Communities Academy where I teach music production, DJing.
I want to go back and emphasize that we were talking a little bit while we were watching the video about just the importance of follow through. You know, you and I both, you know, like having a good time, of course. Yeah. But we're also, I know with you at your work, and that's why we're collaborating, you're really committed to community and education, empowerment, lifting people's spirits. And it takes effort. It takes a lot of follow through.
I mean, you have to. I mean, I'm not a role model. I mean, you know, like, you know, we the Cold Crush. We GMC Entertainment, man. We're rock stars. You know, we're not role models, but there is a morality to our thing, you know. We just didn't get into all this stuff that people assume that, you know, rock stars or whatever get into or whatever, you know. They
we were banging back health drinks last week with a Zube over
we
there.
Lixart, you know, like, you know, go there, get your health shot, get your turmeric, you know. And, you know, even the monks had a little beer, so, you know, I mean, if you touch it here and there, it's on you, just moderation, man, balance. I mean, be like the Buddha, like middle path, you know.
It works.
4 Noble Truths. It's, you know, very important. It's just know thyself. Thyself says, I can't drink alcohol all night long and then perform properly at 7, 8 in the morning. You know, self, know thyself. Self says, I can't use all kind of drugs and stuff and everything is fine. Self says, I can't not communicate good with my neighbors, where I'm at and all that, you know? Because sometimes neighbors, you know, especially me, I'm a DJ, I get the noise complaints and all that. And I just invite them to, you know, when they, around my office, it gets a little noisy. So, you know, we'll work it out. You know, I'm not a bad guy, knock on the door. You know, don't throw stuff at my business.
Right.
That's not nice.
Well, you got a lot going in Nevada City, and I know we're going to have a little more music before the end of the show.
Yeah, I got some stuff. Always.
But if people want to contact you, your manager, how are they
Yes,
get in touch
well,
with
you would get in touch with me through my management, Dove Moses, at hiphopmedicine.com, or you can go to Dove Moses Facebook, you know, but really, hiphopmedicine.com, you know, that's where we're at.
And
Check
Dove's
us
an
out.
amazing rapper. I saw you
Yeah,
guys
he-
out at Fractal Lake, and he just tore
he
it
killed
up.
it. That's he's
Words
been
of
with me for
truth.
16 years.
Yeah.
You
Oof.
know, he's very amazing right now. Like I say, he's deep into his guru thing now. It's Theta Healing Weekend at our house. It's about 30 people there. We'd like to get him on the show and kick it about that, because when he's on his show, his whole Theta crew is going to come. You know,
sure.
like a whole thing. We've done a couple of years, so it's a good thing. And like I say, here is where you can communicate a lot of positive things that they would not talk about on corporate radio, because it does not serve them. It doesn't serve their pockets, their agenda. You know, how does me telling you to come meditate and clear your mind serve them?
It doesn't. It's a self-explanatory.
So yeah, they want you numbed down, you know, with Oreo cookies, cheeseburgers, and you know, corporate, you know, it's bad. But we'll work it out.
Yeah.
Keep watching, keep listening, keep getting this science, keep contributing to us by checking us out and saying, hey, I want to be on the show. Come on. You see me walking around, I see bands, you know. You never know. We got music, culture, science, art, like you said, everything.
Yeah, it's time to rise up, and it's all about power to the people. And one of the good things is too, I work a lot with the Native community, and actually yesterday I was out at the Nisenan Heritage Day at Sierra College, which is a great presentation from some of the original Native people from this area, and I got to talk with a lot of people. I got some more great footage that'll be coming up. But even in the Native tradition, they talked about a time when things on the planet were going to get really, really bad, but then there would be certain signs where we were starting to turn a corner and people were starting to spiritually wake up. And I know, not for the Maidu here, but for the Lakota, who I work with a lot of different Lakota people, and featured a lot of their issues about water and things that are happening up in their native lands of the Dakotas. But they also talked about a time where Native people would start to get some of their religion and some of their spiritual traditions and culture back. Actually, until 1970, depending on where you were, until the 70s, it was still illegal for Native people to practice their religion here in the United States. Wow. So the next piece we're going to do is in honor of that. And this was put together by a great visual artist, amazing person. He's worked with Terrence McKenna, who is one of the pioneers of psychedelic research as far as how a lot of these could be used in conscious ways to expand consciousness. And in fact, civilization all over the world has actually flourished where people had access to a lot of these indigenous and aboriginal medicines and plants. But the idea... Proper use.
It has to be proper use.
Yep.
You know, the truth of the matter is, here in Northern California, there's a lot of great things, a lot of beautiful, but I noticed that there's people traveled a lot, and they came and they gathered, and they get into their stuff, and they throw in their unks and everything, and some people actually know what they're doing, they're into it. But then there are people that have been harmed by it, so just be careful with all the ayahuascas or whatever you're into. Just it's serious, powerful, spiritual medicine. It takes you to realms that you must be ready for. Yeah. Prior to them doing the shams didn't just do that. They built themselves to that level, and then they consumed the acceptance.
With intention also too, to reach a higher sense of awareness.
You know?
So on that note, I think we have a few minutes left. We're going to go over now to a piece of video by Ken Adams, the artist, along with some music. And this piece is called Ghost Dance. And I think it really artistically, musically drives the point home about that humanity is at a crossroads, and that our decisions, our actions every day create the moment and create the future, not only for ourselves, but for 7 generations. So let's take a moment and watch Ghost Dance, a original video by Ken Adams, and we'll be back for just the closing of the show. So thanks for tuning in to Golden Road.
What is it you
back. Wow, I just have to take a moment to take in, that was some powerful video. And of course, that was some imagery put together by Ken Adams, a great artist, regarding the ghost dance, which was really something that was prohibited for the Lakota Native people to practice their religion for many years. But the spirit is returning, and we're here to help inspire, enlighten, and educate you, our community. This is your show. We want you to rise up and come and collaborate and to help celebrate and to empower each other in this amazing region that we lived here in Gold Country. And that's why we decided to call the show The Golden Road. We started as a radio show, and we're now morphed into a weekly TV show. Every Sunday, 6 to 8, we show in 4 counties on public access television. We also broadcast on YouTube, and we do strip off the audio and actually play that on several radio stations. So we want you to know that if you're interested in being on the show, if you have something to contribute in the area of arts and culture, humanities, health, environment, peace and justice, or science and technology, that we have a microphone and a video camera for you. So we love your support, we love your audienceship, we love your input. If you want more information, you can go to goldenroadradiohour.com, and we're actually going to get our blog working soon so we can start to have some intelligent and organized networking and conversation around some of these topics so that we can continue to empower ourselves locally to make a difference globally. And we are reaching globally because we also broadcast on YouTube. I'm your host, Michael DiMartino, and more than just me here helping to host, I want to thank all the people that really helped make this show possible. Of course, we have DJ Power bringing the music, Kenya Dance, who comes with her words of inspiration and poetry. We always have contributions, a lot from Lorraine Reich and the Peace and Justice Center, Tom Moores and Sierra Watch. I want to thank my technical crew who are helping this happen. We have, of course, Carl Chalette here, who's doing audio. He's coming from Nevada City. He also works at KVMR. So check out some of the live concerts that happen at KVMR on their Facebook and YouTube channel. I want to also thank Skylar, the man here at BCAC-TV. He's got great vision and great skills and a very keen artistic sense. So thank you for helping this show to happen here in this community, which is a cornerstone of this whole region of what we have to offer each other and the world. And I also want to thank Coulter, who has been working with Skylar tonight to help dial in all the various things. There's hundreds of cables, thousands of minutes of time and energy and effort that goes into making this to even be able to happen. And it can happen because of all of these people, but the most important, it happens because of you, our audience, tuning in with a thirst to know what's happening in our community. It's very different than what you might get on corporate media. It's also very different from, there's so many things, so many options out there, live shows, there's things you can watch on the internet, there's Netflix, and there's so many things. But every Sunday, we are going to be here as a cornerstone to help network and bring our community closer together. And in the words of the Hopi elders I worked with, they said, humanity is in a time right now where we're in a canoe and we're rushing towards this great waterfall. And the ability for people to survive is going to be based on their ability to cooperate and to collaborate. So if we can learn to bring our canoes together as individuals and to lash our canoes together, that unified we have the strength to paddle upstream and to avert a lot of suffering and a lot of potential disasters that can happen here, not in just our country, but around the world. And we already see signs of that through a lot of the earth changes, things that are happening. So I want to thank all of you. I want to thank KUBU 96.5 in Sacramento for broadcasting the show. I want to thank my home station of KVMR 89.5 FM, Tahoe Truckee TV, BCAC TV, Access Sacramento, and NCTV. So thank you very much, and we'll see you next Sunday where we'll be up in the High Sierras broadcasting from Truckee and Tahoe TV with Rory and Dan.
Tahoe.
Thank you so much. God bless.
the intersection of arts, environment, culture, health, peace, justice, science, and technology.
It's the